welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob, we got Jones with us tonight, making a return. I feel like it's been too long. It's definitely been a while, but I think you're. I don't know. I've said it before. You're probably the most frequented guest, but nice to have you back. And I think Bob has something he wants to kick us off with.
Yep. No, I'm just going to get right into this because if I use it as my final thought, we'll be here all fucking night. So I played Great Horse yesterday in a US Mid-Am qualifier. So if anyone wants to know what that fucking means in English, you have to be over 25, you have to be an amateur golfer, and it's the whole country. So the US Mid-Am itself, if you win that, so you have to do like 36 holes of qualifying and then 64 person bracket, and you got to win matches, whatever. You win that, you get into next year's Masters, next year's US Open, next year's US Am. So that's the event that Matt Parziali, if anyone's familiar with the firefighter from Brockton, that won in 2017, and he played in all these things in 2018. Now, I signed up for this because I was eligible. So I met the criteria, handicap, age, whatever. I am fully qualified to be there. That being said, I'm not nearly good enough to get through. And I knew that. I knew that before the tee sheet came out. I knew that before I saw who was there. I knew that before I played yesterday. I've known this since I registered. I am not good enough to get through qualifying. I am not good enough to then be in the event and qualify or make match play or any of that. Not even remotely close to good enough. So knew all that beforehand. Why I signed up was Great Horse is a place that I didn't know how else I would get access to it. So I know a few people who have played. They said it's cool, it's nice, it's this, it's that.
There's a helicopter pad.
So I was like, you know what? I'll sign up. It doesn't matter that I'm not going to qualify. It's okay. Like, even if I shoot my best, it's not going to be good enough. And I know that. I'm going to get 2 rounds of golf, practice round and regular rounds at this place. And I'll do that. So, I'm talking to some people and I'm asking them, I'm like, what is it? Like, what's the deal there? What's the deal with this place? Have you played? Have you not played? And everyone's like, oh, I hear it's this. I hear it's that. I hear this. And some of the things that I was told before I got out there, I was told that there are cabins and cottages for rent that are right on the golf course. That is accurate. The golf course bought cabins and cottages, and members can rent them, and they're right there. It's a kind of a different deal. Like, not every place has that.
So can only members can rent them?
I think so, because it's member only course.
It seems odd that hey, you're a member at this club. Do you want to come stay at a cabin on the golf course?
So one thing that this place does do a lot of is national memberships. So if you live outside of 50 miles.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, so you can actually stay there. Okay.
Yes.
Now I get it.
The other thing too is it's in Wilbraham or Hamden, Wilbraham line.
Yeah.
So it's on the way to Springfield. It's not quite in Springfield. 50 miles brings
Wilbraham. That's where Friendlies was invented.
Everyone told me that. I didn't see the sign. So if you live 50 miles, what's like 20 miles west of me?
Maybe like Framingham.
Yeah, so I think like Framingham to Springfield is probably 50. So if you live outside of that, you can be a national member. So there are people who live in different places, Connecticut, because it's close. It's like close-ish to West Hartford, or not West. I guess Hartford in general. I don't know why I said West. But like it's close enough to like Hartford. It's close enough to New York. So like people can be national members. They would be the ones that would be staying in the accommodations.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. There's no stay and play up there. So something that kind of blows is that this thing's fucking 90 minutes from my house. And I'm like, this kind of sucks. And I'm like, it's far, but it's supposed to be cool. When else am I going to get out there? If I don't like it, I never have to go again. Don't worry about it. And then I'm like thinking about it. I go, dude, I played New Seabury one time, and that was like an hour 20, hour 25, which is down in like Mashpee. Like, that's not that convenient either. Like, if
Right.
I would not bat an eye to go play a tournament in Dennis, Brewster. Like, I wouldn't bat an eye to play in those places. But then it's like when you say it's out west, it's like, oh, it just feels so fucking far. And actually, it's probably a fucking easier drive, like probably a way easier drive.
Yeah, it's one road.
Yes. So I drive out there. I have no fucking clue where I am. Like, you get off the highway in Palmer, and then you drive through Wilbraham, and then there's Wilbraham and Munson Academy, and I'm like, that seems fancy. I've never heard of these fucking places. It might as well be in fucking Narnia. And then I see something. It's like the farm at Great Horse. It's got the Great Horse logo, and I'm like, no, that's not the golf course. Then you drive a little bit further, and it's like, okay, here's the golf course. So you take a left in, big stone pillars with a gate that, like, it's probably like an automatic gate, and it's like the fucking JFK cauldrons up top, like the everlasting flame is just like on top of these things, like the Olympic flame, just like non fucking stop. And I'm like, okay, so I drive my way up, and I've been told the practice facilities are sick, like they're like everything's perfect. I see the clubhouse, and I'm like, that is fucking ridiculous. Get out of my car, grab my stuff, go down to the pro shop, whatever. I see the wedding venue, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy. So for my practice round, I was paired with two people like local to that area and one dude from like Wayland or some shit. So the two people local to the area knew kind of like the deal with this place. Um, it used to be Hamden Country Club, which was just a golf course. There's a family that bought it at auction. They have like a national trash recycling, hauling, whatever company. They
Okay.
also have a horse farm, and I think they breed horses and shit like that.
Hence the
So
name.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's great horses, and is like the English for a Leonardo da Vinci painting or some shit. I don't fucking know. Which you should have just named it that. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's neither here nor there. And as the tale goes, they bought Hamden Country Club. They put $50 million into it. 50 million.
Wow.
But I guess that the course layout, like the actual golf course, is the same. So they took the layout, they didn't touch it. They maybe like they filled in a pond,
Yeah.
but they didn't like reroute the land or any of that.
Right.
Like, maybe built some features, but like nothing, like they did not change the routing of the golf course. What they did do was add about 3 billion fucking bunkers. Like, even to the point that like one of the guys was like super fucking sarcastic, like one of the local guys. And he goes, man, I wish someone would like count how many bunkers were here. Cause it's like on the first page of the website, 215. And he's like, he goes, man, sometimes I just look out here and I just like wonder, where could you put more? Could you put more bunkers somewhere? I wish there was just more. And then like you look around sometimes and it's like some of these bunkers are absolutely useless because there's no way for someone to hit into them. Like they're like elevated amongst other bunkers. And it's like, who the fuck is hitting it there? And someone's like, well, can you imagine the shot? I go, no, because I can't imagine hitting it there. How the
Yeah.
fuck do you hit into that? There was literally like, I don't know how far the drive would have had to have been, but like you're looking out there and you see bunkers at like, say it's 260. So you can't hit more than 260. So who the fuck is hitting at 290 into a bunker that's above those other bunkers? Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck do you fuck that up?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Unless you shank your second shot, your approach.
still, it shouldn't happen.
I'm looking at the website right now, and the 15th hole, there's like a big ass bunker to the left, like elevated to the
Yeah, yeah,
left.
yeah. That's one of them. That's one of the stupid ones because it's above four other bunkers.
Yeah, yeah, that's goofy.
So for a right-hander, you would have to hit the hardest pull hook ever, but also
And to
like,
have it go up in the air.
but also not have it pull hook too hard. So it's like, I don't know how the fuck, like, because a lefty's never hitting it in that. No fucking way. Because that's actually a little bit of a crazy green. It's a short hole. Like I think it only played like 131 yesterday. Hit it to a foot, no big deal. But like the way the green is shaped, it's super narrow. So it's like all like the low bunkers, you can absolutely hit into those. But like that top one, someone's like, oh yeah, you'd have to hit like a big massive pull hook. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How? It's like you would have to hit it 25 extra yards. I go, everyone hits it, everyone's gonna come up short here. Which those short bunkers are fucking terrible. Hold out in the practice round, though, no big deal. Um,
Oh, I
so
see it now on the 15th hole.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they put $50 million into this place. I do think they redid all of the irrigation. I think they filled a pond. They put in 1 billion bunkers. Um, and they made the conditions borderline perfect. Now, there's also tees that go as far back as 7,500 yards. Like the red tees are 7,500, which is fucking absurd, if you ask
Wow.
me. It's
Yeah.
so fucking far. But I think this is going to be a site that's not going to be like every year, but I think it's going to be like an anchor regional championship venue, whether it's host the actual tournament or host qualifiers. I think they're always willing to do it. They have the infrastructure to do it. They have the parking, they have the place, they have the attitude. Like they're probably going to have something every year, I think. That's why it is kind of the way it is. Now,
Right.
the other thing too is they have so many sets of tees that they can set it up for anybody. Like the senior women's AM qualifier was before we went out. So you can have senior women out there and you can have the US mid am. I mean, US, they were both US, but you can have mid am men and senior women on the same day, same course,
They have 6 sets of tees, something like that, or
if
more.
not more, because it's like
Because when I played
working.
at Pawtucket, that was the first time I had ever seen that many tees, and they had 6.
So from furthest back to closest, I don't know where it stops, but it goes red, red, black blend, black, black, gold blend, gold. And then in front of the gold, I want to say there's probably a blue and maybe a white plus blends, which Renaissance does that shit too. Like Renaissance has like probably 5 colors plus blends. It's fucking craziness.
Yeah.
Like it really is fucking crazy. It kind of like reminded me of the same idea of Renaissance, but um so they put their $50 million in. Again, the facilities are crazy. There's a million bunkers, the venues and whatever. The practice rounds are immaculate. Like it's perfect. You know, the website says that the greens roll at a 13, whatever. So I go all the way out there for my practice rounds. It had pissed fucking rain the night before. So the course played very soft. The two local guys, they barely even putt the greens. They go, this isn't even going to be worth our time. And I'm like, fine. So, we're playing the practice round. Like one of the guys, actually, he was a member at Hamden Country Club back in the day. And then when it became Great Horse, there's no way he could afford it. But he goes like he'll still get in for qualifiers and other events and things like that. So they like the two of them have played it a bunch. So, we're trying to like work our way through, and our info sheet says, hey, it's the black gold tees, 6,700 yards. And then the fourth guy in the group comes down. He goes, yeah, some guy inside told me just play the blacks. He goes, it's probably going to be blacks, but the blacks are 7,000. It's like, that's a 6,700. Like, what the fuck tees are we playing?
Yeah.
So we're playing that game the whole day. Like, where it's like, hey, this one should be a gold. And the guy's like, yeah, man. He goes, but I've never hit from up there in a qualifier. We should play from back here. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. So we're playing our round, whatever. It's fine. So at the end, I go, I got a stupid question. They go, okay. I go, is there a helicopter pad here? And one of them looks back at me because that's what I've been told. So I
Yeah.
asked. One of them looks back and smirks at me, and he goes, it's not here. He goes, it's not on site. It's down the street, and they do own it. So they own land down the street, and there's a helicopter pad.
That's fucking
I'm
hilarious.
like, okay, that's.
Yeah.
I'm glad they had it, because if I was like, oh, is there a helicopter pad? They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So that was Wednesday. Monday, yesterday was the tournament. Drive out, get out there, plenty of time. Obviously, fucking give myself way too much time. Even stopping to piss in the Charlton Plaza, whatever.
Yeah, on the Pike.
Yeah. So get out there, doing my thing. And like I said, like I know I'm not getting through, so I just want to play golf halfway decent. That's all I'm really like looking to do. I know that's, if we're making smart goals, that's not nearly good enough, whatever. And my exhibit,
it's not a dumb goal though.
My exhibit A for why I wasn't going to get through is, one, I know that. Two, there was a group. They went off the first tee. I don't know, either right before me or 2 TMs before me. No, don't really know. Doesn't matter. There is a person who played in the 2020 Wyndham Championship as a professional who has since regained his amateur status, and he is a plus 4.2 handicap.
No big deal.
There is the person, he played at BC Golf. He holds the course record of 65 at Great Horse. He's in that group. And the third person in their group has a better handicap than both of them.
Wow.
Plus 4.2 handicap was the worst player in the group.
Wow.
Plus 4.9. That's 3 of them playing together.
Yeah.
That doesn't even include the rest of the field.
So was it just that whole group that made it through?
No, because it's still golf. So, because this is the other thing. Qualify. I don't know what our field was. I didn't count how many people. 3 players, 2 alternates, no ties. So if you're up there, you go to a fucking playoff. Done. That's it. That's how that works. So you would think that, like, if you could bet on this, you would bet those 3 guys. Probably the course record holder. He would probably be the betting favorite. Followed by probably the guy who played in the Wyndham, and then the third dude.
With the best handicap of the 3.
With the best handicap of the 3. And the thing too is, like, they're all battle tested. Like, they all play amateur stuff, state stuff, national stuff. Like, they're all in this shit. Actually, the 4.2, the one that, sucks. He was actually at the USAM earlier in the week, shot 2 over for 36 holes, didn't make the cut, but he was there, 2 over 36 holes in a USAM setup. Sick.
Yeah.
So we're out there, we're playing. You don't have to worry about how I play. I play like shit. I play like shit, and it's fucking whatever. But again, it didn't matter because I wasn't getting through. So who gives a fuck? But all our homework. Is it black gold or is it black? Yeah. The scorecard said 7,000 yards, and they mixed in some fucking red tees, which I said was the tips.
Wow.
Like, fucking bananas.
Wow.
So by far the hardest course setup that I ever actually had to play. I don't know if it's the hardest course I've ever stepped foot on. If you because if you stretch out TPC all the way, I don't know if it's harder. But at the same time, if you stretch out Great Horse all the way, it's probably harder than TPC. Like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yes, I've stepped foot on some places. But like craziness. So I ended up shooting 13 over par. And anyone who knows how differential works. So if you because you can shoot 13 over, which is an 85, and people go, oh, 13 over. And then you go to a different place and you shoot 13 over. And some people think all 13 overs are equal.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you that they're not, because each golf course is rated and evaluated based on difficulty. So when you have a handicap, it actually measures differential. So the harder a golf course you play, the more the differential comes down. And if you go play an easy place, the differential goes up. So for example, when we played Eagle Crest in New York last year, and I shot the 3 under par, people go 3 under. Wow, that's like so good. That's got to be your best round ever. No, because it was a 3 differential, like plus 3.
Right.
Because theoretically, by math and whatever, not by actually playing the math, I should have shot 6 under. Like,
yeah,
which is just fucking cuckoo. So, or no, I guess no, because I shot my handicap, so I should have shot 3 under. That's what I should have shot. But if I was a scratch golfer, I should have shot 6 under. Like, so that's how,
right,
like differential, whatever. So my 13 over par turned into 7. Six shots in the differential. I've never seen that much either. Like, yeah, sometimes like 12 becomes 10, maybe a 9. Never seen 6 shots move. So yeah, by far the hardest setup I've ever had to play.
Do you think it would be harder than myopia if it was tipped out?
Are both tipped out, or are they playing equal length?
Well,
because myopia doesn't have
myopia is going to
7,000
be
yards.
shorter, right?
Yeah, myopia doesn't have 7,000.
I don't know. I guess both. How would you run it?
Yeah,
if they're both
so
tipped out, it would probably be great horse, right? With the added length.
Because it's like 1,000 yards longer.
Yeah.
Like myopia's tips, I think, are only 65.
Oh wow, that's not very long.
No, but it's not length that gets you.
Well, yeah.
So now, if you play great horse from 65,
it's the motion in the ocean.
Something like that. It's the fucking fescue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you play great horse from 6,500, myopia is like a billion times harder. But if you play both from quote unquote tips, then great horse is way harder. It's 1,000 yards longer.
Yeah.
No, I think like if I wanted to start to find a comparison, you'd have to stretch out Wanamoisit or you'd have to find a course that can compete on length. Because 7,500 yards is just an absolute fuckload. Like, I don't think anyone actually plays that. That's fucking craziness. It's so far.
Yeah, that's fucking huge.
But yeah, if you're playing, so this is the thing with, and I'll get into. Well, I guess I'll get into it now. So here's the thing: 7,000 yards. That's long for me. So for me to play that golf course, I have to play it differently than some of these other guys because I can't fly certain bunkers. I can't reach certain shots. I only hit it as far as I hit it. So it's like one of the par 5s, I hit a 3-wood off the tee, so that it would be short of the bunkers. These guys might be able to fly that bunker and give it a shot in 2. It's like, we're not playing the same style here.
Yeah.
So now I know that don't fucking get me wrong. I get golf. If you can hit it far and in the fairway, I understand. You can fucking score well. But what I'm gonna say, it's gonna sound fucking obvious. For these guys who are highly skilled in how far they hit it, for them to be able to hit it far and straight,
right,
the golf course is scoreable. But you have to be able to fly bunkers and stuff. If you can't fly the bunkers, then you're playing from very far back, and it's difficult. But the greens, because they like pride themselves on running so fast, they can't have crazy slopes in them. You can't have 13 on the stimp and have crazy slopes. So like 10, 12 footers, they don't break like crazy. And like if you hit a putt, it generally kind of stays on line. So it's like you can score at this place. Don't get me wrong. Like it doesn't have the hardest physical golf course. Where it gets you is length, bunkers, rough. The rough is like fucking impossible to get out of. And it's like if you're not hitting the tee shot good, then you're in the rough. So it's like the 18th hole is like, actually the 18th hole is good. top 12 guys, only 2 of them parred it. Everyone else bogeyed. And it's like a 440-yard par 4, and you can't hit it more than 275. So pretty much everyone's playing from the same spot, which is like 195 in, 180 in ish.
Yep.
Because it also like makes like this goofy S, so it's not exactly like a it's not exactly a dog leg, but it's definitely not straight either. So it's like everyone's got to hit this like 190, 180, maybe 175 ball. But when your vantage point from the approach, you see a bunker left of the green, you see a very small sliver of green, and if you go long, you're in like the world's smallest bunker. But it's like that bunker's pin high. So you have to take on like all this shit.
Yeah.
Just to make the shot. And then I'm sitting there, I go, I got 196. I go, if I hit my hybrid and if I hit it good, I can't stop the ball. So I had to lay up after punching out. I'm like, this is fucking craziness.
Right.
So like that's like a little bit of like what you get with some of the difficulty is like, hey, you got to hit it here. If you can't fly that, or you can't do this, like it's like all about like picking the right strategy of how you want to play it and how you can. So the winner ended up, or the medalist, because it's a qualifier, ended up shooting 2 under. I think 1 under were the other 2 qualifiers, which was a playoff, and then even was a playoff for second alternate. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, that's just fucking good golf. And out of that power 3, only 1 guy got through, the course record holder.
Wow.
But that's because, +2s, +3s were also in the field. And like the names that qualified, they're in everything. Like they are.
Do you get through
all
on
the state
net?
stuff? No, there is no net. It's all gross.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all gross. When you do USGA stuff, it's all gross. Actually, so USGA and then Mass Golf Championships, not member days or anything else. Mass Golf Championships and USGA Championships, it's all gross. So I'm like 2 under. I'm like, that's just fucking good. And he shot his handicap. I'm like, that's just really fucking good. Like, you only shoot, like, it's so hard to shoot your handicap. And he did it in a qualifier. I'm like, yep, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I don't have.
Yeah.
Because actually, even if I did shoot my handicap, which would have been 9 over. Yeah, take 6 off. 8 over. I would have missed by 10. Like, that's what we're talking about. Like, that's what we're talking about here. It's fucking craziness. So all that to wrap up Great Horse. Middle of fucking nowhere. Wilbraham, Palmer, Hamden, like fucking it's
East
just
Long
fucking
Meadow.
far away. Yeah, I don't even know where that is.
That's not even my town.
Well, we're not so north.
Yeah.
Yet. Although people were up. You're north of Fitchburg, right?
Just barely, but yeah. Northwest.
Okay. Because I was say the guys were out like some fucking golf course like north of Fitchburg the other day. I go, where the fuck are they?
Oh,
they were in Townsend.
Yeah, I know that.
It's up 190.
So yeah, well, whatever. Places you'll never fucking find me.
Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck even is 190?
No, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I was going to say, I believe that's called the Pike, and it's called 90, Interstate 90. No. So Great Horse itself. So some of its reputation, I'm not a golf course architecture geek, like not really into the nerd. I understand some side of it. It drives me fucking crazy. This will not win any architectural awards at all because from a like architecture standpoint, all they did was just put a bunch of bunkers in the fucking landing spots. That's fucking all they did.
Yeah.
And then they do crazy length and the greens run crazy fast. So what they probably have is what you would consider a championship golf course, not necessarily like an interesting or a fun or a like unique golf course.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're talking about.
Do you think it
Like,
would be set up
it-
to hold like a live event? Because I mean, the PGA would probably not go there for anything, but you know,
no, they would only go there for like a pro-am stemming from the Travelers or something, which I think they
yeah.
did one time. You could put a live event out there.
So it could handle some pro golf.
I think it could. I think it could handle professional golf. Now you would run into some other issues like infrastructure and parking and where are people going to stay. Like you'd run into shit like that.
Yeah. Oh,
But
dude,
yeah,
the
I mean, you could have
cabins on the 17th fairway.
no, but no. I mean, like the fans, like where are fans going to stay?
No,
Where
I
the
know,
fuck are fans coming from?
I know.
Like they have to stay in Springfield. Sick.
Yeah, bring your bulletproof vest.
Yeah. Stay downtown. The club, like the actual club. So like when you turn in the gates, that's probably more accurate of like top 25 in the state. Like they do not have a top 25 golf course in the state. Like no fucking way. But they probably have a top 25 club because they got plenty of space, plenty of parking, practice facilities, clubhouse, like they've got everything. Whatever you need, the conditions are good, like all that stuff. All that stuff's there, all that stuff's good, like no problem. So based on this experience, I'm glad I went. Like as much as I hated the drive, like whatever, get over it. Again, I would make the same drive to the Cape and it might be shittier. Coming back from Eastwood Ho this year was shittier.
Yeah. I was gonna say, anytime
well, they had
you
bridge
could
traffic.
have
There
one
was a fucking
way.
stoplight on the bridge. We talked about this. They put a stoplight on the fucking bridge.
Yep.
Took me fucking 2 hours to get home.
It's almost as dumb as having rotary on a highway.
Oh, so dumb. So dumb. So like I let the drive kind of be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Again, I would do it to go elsewhere. So that's not really a good excuse. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I played a USGA thing. I don't know. Like it's like for me, if I'm going to do another USGA event, it's got to be course dependent. It'll only be to play the course. Like the other site of Great Horse was George Wright. I would not have gone to George Wright. There's no point.
Well, we can play that.
Yeah, anyway, well, that's the thing. You can play it, and I'm not getting through, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I will never do another qualifier at Great Horse. The course is just too fucking hard. My game does not suit that place. I think I could score there, but not from 7,000 yards. If we played 6,700, I think I would have a better chance, but I would still have to. It's not going to be a good setup for me in my game. So, I definitely won't go back for a qualifier. And since since it's so far away, like I just don't see myself ever going back. Like I don't know what scenario I would go back for. Because if I'm going to go back, I want to go back for fun. I want to play the tees that I want to play. I don't want to play 7,000 yards in competition.
And you can't do that
like
because it's private.
And again, like so. Cool spot. It's definitely a place when you pull in, it's like, wow, this is impressive. But then when you actually get to the golf course, it's like, I wish it was better. Like the course itself.
Yeah.
But you can't have that because generally you can't have a championship layout and like the most fun, interesting, super unique layout too. You can't have both generally.
Right.
And then and then this is the last one. So during the practice round, the guy was saying, he goes, "Oh yeah, the men's locker room is like right up there, and you see the glass, and you can't see in, but you can see out." He's like, "Yeah, so you can like you can like grab a beer, go take a shower, and while you're showering, you can like look out the window at like the golf course, whatever." He goes, "Because you can see out the glass, can't see in." And I didn't say anything. But the first thought in my head is, does anyone think that that's just fucking weird as hell?
Yeah.
And like, I don't think that's cool. That doesn't sound cool to me.
That's
It
not
sounds
cool.
fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, okay, shower beers aside, I have not drank a beer in the shower since I was in college.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I need a shower beer for? And I know some people still hang on to like shower beers being like this cool thing. All you're doing is taking a beer, making things steamy, probably getting bath water in it. And it's like, you couldn't have just waited, or you couldn't have drank it first and then went in the shower.
Yeah.
So the shower beer aside, I think that's a little bit of an overrated fucking phenomenon. Why would I want to look at the golf course that I just played while showering? Like from a clubhouse that like people can't see in, but I can see them. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then is someone on staff there to clean the loads off the glass? Because like I just assume that's what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
I don't
imagine
know.
that's
That
the
was like,
first thing I thought of too.
that was like the weird thing. Like that was like the one. And then someone else said it yesterday. They're like, yeah, you can order a beer and like go in the shower and you can see everything that's going on out here. And I'm like, why do people think this is cool? Like,
Yeah,
I think that's
who
fucking weird as fuck.
wants to creep on the fucking golf course while you're in the shower?
I'm like, so that's the thing. Like, let's just pretend not everyone's a diddler. Why would that be appealing to you? Is it appealing to either of you?
No.
Like, you just finished a round of golf at this place, and your first thought is, you know what I would like to do? Take a shower where I can see what's happening out here.
Yeah, first I'd like to get a beer so I can drink it in the shower.
But
while
yeah,
I-
but I'm gonna drink it in
while
the
I
shower.
watch
and
everyone on
hopefully
the
get a
golf
bunch.
course.
Yeah, and hopefully get a bunch of shower water in the beer.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
I mean, I think you are forgetting it is Western Mass, so it's everything.
And I think the owner's from Connecticut,
Oh god.
so that might start to make sense. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, like, not many people are gonna get the chance to play this place. It's just like it's too remote, or I don't want to say remote, but like it's too far away from the action. It's, you know, it's gonna be hosting all these tournaments and shit. Like, I don't really know anyone who's a member up there. So unless you're from the area, in which case you definitely have a connection. So you probably already played it.
Right. Yeah, or maybe you played it when it was
Hamden.
So, all right. Well, Jones, you're a relatively in tune with politics and current events. We have ourselves the Republican presidential debates tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
I'm
do you have
glad that
any?
you brought this. I don't really have many thoughts. I'm interested to see how much of a shit show it's gonna
Well, I know you don't have many thoughts.
Trump's not
but
debating,
like,
right?
Yeah. No.
Trump, he's not debating, right?
be.
He's not.
I am curious to see how the rest of the field treats that, and if they bring up any of the indictment crap. I know that Ramaswamy guy has like been to him a lot.
Is that how
yeah,
is that how that name is pronounced? Ramaswamy?
It's
Vivek
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy.
I think I would vote for that person just based off name alone.
I would
Slappy,
vote. I would vote for him.
Slappy, Swabby, Ramaswamy.
He's in third.
Yeah, I would
Samsonite.
definitely
I was
vote for him if he was an option.
I don't even know who this person is. What state
He's
are they
only
from?
he's only 37.
Well, you keep saying he, so okay, so it's a male. That's a good start for me. So he, where is he from?
I don't know.
Okay,
He is of Indian descent. I know that.
okay.
He was born in Cincinnati.
Oh God.
Graduated from Harvard, Yale Law School.
Oh, fuck off. This keeps getting worse.
Yeah, I'm not saying where he's actually from, just that he was born in Cincinnati.
So I guess okay. So he's born in Cincinnati. What is he? What is his current job?
He's like a tech guy.
Business
Oh
tech
shit, he's not
guy.
even a politician right now.
No,
No,
Oh fuck, sign me up.
I guess he's running on like a MAGA 2.0.
Yeah, I don't give
Where
a fuck what he stands for. He's not a politician. I want him.
yeah. So a lot of his ideas and I don't know, I guess policies, whatever, are pretty straightforward. A lot of it is populist, right? So there's like some hardcore conservatives that don't really support him because he's a populist, right? So it's, you know,
Know what that is. That's fine.
what do most people want? That's what I'm going to support.
Head.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that's basically what it is. It's like, what is the general consensus of the country, and that's what I'm going to stand for, right? So like, some
Wow,
people,
that seems so bad. That
I
seems so
know.
terrible.
Well, in today's
I can't
political
imagine.
climate, people are like hard one way or the other. So they're like, well, you're supposed to be a Republican. This is
All
how
right,
you're
so this
supposed to
guy
think.
can't win. So this
And
guy can't win.
so realistically, everything I'm seeing, and Jones, feel free to step back in. I didn't mean to cut you off and take away your limelight.
I think that was actually
but,
my fault because I was involved with the Samsonite guy.
but I think he's most likely to be Trump's VP candidate.
I didn't think about that, but that makes a lot of sense. I could also see Trump tapping Martin to be the VP.
Tapping who?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, that would be fucking terrible.
That's a lot of crazy in one fucking running party.
Yeah, that wouldn't
be good.
That would be awful, actually.
I'll tell you right now that that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
No.
For the Republicans.
I think if you're trying to build back the Republican, if Trump wanted to do that, he would tap this guy as the VP. But I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to tap Marge because she's been with him since the start. So I don't know. But I'm interested to see how much they gang up on him. I want to see who's like actually like, because I know Chris Christie said that he's going to be all in on him. I want to see what Pence does with him.
Well, Pence is just a fucking loser.
Right.
What did Trump say about Chris Christie? Did he call him disgusting or something?
Call him fat or disgusting.
Yeah. That fat, disgusting piece of shit.
Well, he is disgusting.
Yeah. So because the interesting thing with Vivek is he has not attacked Trump. He hasn't necessarily like gone out of his way to praise him, but it's one of those, like, when he's presented with the opportunity to go after Trump, he kind of either defends him in a way or stays Switzerland, right? Like, so
this dude is too qualified. He's in my book, based off purely what you guys have described me and what I've.
Well, he's smart.
Like who I know.
He's insanely smart.
He sounds smart. Sounds smart.
Yeah.
I don't know why he wants to get into politics. That kind of makes me think he's stupid, but all signs are pointing to this guy being very favorable. Like, he's not a politician.
The thought process behind it, right?
Younger.
If you take the it's the someone behind the curtain, that's the puppet master type of deal, then the thought process is they want to run Vivek as the vice president now with Trump, assuming that Trump can win. He's the VP, and now Vivek is set up to run for president in 2028, and then 4 more years after that in 2032. So it's almost like Trump is like a vessel for Vivek to get in there, because on his own right now, it's not enough, right? Because he is only 37. There's a lot of people that wouldn't vote for him just because he's 37. Not stupid. Like, right. It's really stupid, right? But the most of the people that vote, right? People that vote in their 60s, 70s, 80s, that's the majority of the people that vote. They're not going to vote for a 37-year-old. It's just facts, right? So he's also not Christian. He's Hindu. So especially someone from the Republican Party, we all know the Bible Belt or the Rust Belt even is still Christian. Even, it's the whole big Republicans or Christians and all that shit. So he's a Hindu. So, he's got enough where I would imagine that, again, the puppet masters behind the curtain don't believe he can win on his own. So if they tie him to Trump and they win, well, then it's as easy as, well, he's the vice president, right? So like, obviously he's going to run, look what he can do. And then people will be more amenable because he's been in the office for 4 years already, right? As the VP and, has the experience.
This makes actual sense to me. So I'm thinking Jones is right. Because everything that Melo's saying makes way too much sense. Yeah, it's gonna be the psycho.
The fly in the ointment. What's gonna happen when Trump wants to run again?
That is a law, yes.
Yeah, you can't have more than 2 terms.
2 terms.
After FDR, it did become a law, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Which that theory is that's what you would want if you're a conservative. You want him to follow under Trump and then get that experience and get his name in the certain. That's what you want to do. I just don't trust either party to do anything correctly. They're all fucking wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, the toss up there might be like maybe the GOP has that plan where they want Vivek to be Trump's VP and Trump himself could just stand up and be like, no, I want Marjorie Taylor Greene. Right. So like, that's where I could see that coming in, but it's such a smart play. Like, this guy is great. Now that we've seen DeSantis a little bit more and we know he's kind of a fucking chud, it's like, okay, who's left? Vivek and RFK Jr., right? Like, truthfully, DeSantis is a fucking loser, but like, he's a politician. So like, I don't need my politicians to be cool anyway. But like, any one of the DeSantis, Vivek, or RFK Jr., I would be happy with. Any one of those 3. You pick up somehow a 3-sided coin, you 4D print it, right? In the alternate universe where we have a 3-sided coin, you just flip the coin, whoever the fuck it lands on, whether it's DeSantis, Vivek, or RFK Jr., I'm thrilled if either one of them are president. Which means none of them are going to be president.
If you just look at who's in this debate, the rest of this is just steaming hard garbage. You got DeSantis, Ramaswamy, Pence, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Chris Christie.
How is Nikki Haley even still in this race?
She qualified for this debate. The threshold wasn't that hard. You just have to get like 40,000 individual donors, and I think something else. You just have like a couple like bucks in your war chest. But then there's like the governor from North Dakota and the former governor from Arkansas. Like, I've never heard of them. Ever.
Who's
when is this debate? So I know
Dakota?
not to.
Oh, tomorrow. Doug Burgum.
Oh, it's tomorrow. I'll make sure. I won't be on Twitter tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You just mute the hashtag.
I don't have to. I work late tomorrow.
Oh, that's true. So the best part about this, right, is that so Trump is not going to be part of the debate, but instead he had a pre-recorded interview with Tucker Carlson that he himself is going to release on Twitter during the debate. So in the ultimate fucking troll move, he's going to release a fucking interview. I have no idea how long the interview is. Call it an hour, right? How long's the debate? It's probably the same amount. He's going to release it and compete with the fucking debate just to be a cocksucker. And I'm down for that. I love that
That's
move.
pretty good.
That's
I do like that.
That's the ultimate troll job. Like this guy,
that pettiness is remarkable.
yeah, and like the arrogance, right? Like I'm too fucking good to stand on that stage with you peons. So instead, I'm going to release a video with Tucker Carlson and we are going to quadruple at minimum the viewers on a social media app that you get on cable news.
Do you think that? I mean, I know the answer, but do you think that's a big fuck you to Fox having Trump
Oh
and
yeah.
Tucker do the same?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. It's more of a fuck you to Fox than it is anything else. So it's for sure on purpose.
That is good.
Because obviously Fox fucked over Tucker Carlson, and just throughout the years they've fucked with Trump, more so recently. But you have two people that draw massive eyeballs on their own are now going to release an interview together at the same time as your Fox News Republican debate, and no one's going to fucking watch it because everyone's going to be watching Tucker and Trump. It's going to be amazing.
I wonder if this is the play going forward. Like, what if he does this for like the next like 2 or 3 debates? Because I mean, sure, this starts the campaign, but I mean, he's so far ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
He could just sit on his thumbs for a couple months.
Yeah, basically.
Well, it's kind of funny because I thought, like, I saw that he wasn't going to debate. My first reaction is, why are these politicians being fucking gutless pussies and like not debating? And it's like, because Biden, it's like they're hiding something, and Trump, it's like, oh, I'm not debating, whatever. And then I'm like, I actually thought about it. And I'm like, you know what? It's just fucking better that way. Like it ends up ultimately for fucking society that he just does his thing with Tucker Carlson. Because then everyone's going to have opinions and thoughts. And it's like, none of you are smart enough to have opinions or thoughts. So just fucking don't.
Yeah, it's like my favorite thing is like always post the debate. You get the people that are like Bobos. It's like being a Patriots Bobo, right? It's like being with Vinny. Shout out to Vinny. But it's like you watch a game and it's like, oh wow, Mac looked great. It's like, yeah, I mean, he completed 32 passes, but he threw the ball 61 times. Like that's not, you know what I mean? So
I think
you have those
a good
people that are like, oh, DeSantis looked incredible. The way he responded to this question was amazing. It was very presidential. And it's like, come on, what the fuck are we doing, guys? Like you're breaking down a debate right now. Get a fucking life.
A good comp is the people who grade the boxing matches at home, because let's face it, boxing's not that popular. So therefore, no one really knows what they're talking about. And then even then, boxing judging is pretty subjective. So it's like, it depends on who's judging at the time and what they're seeing, whatever. So it's like, oh, unanimous decision, this, that, whatever. And then like someone's like, well, on my card, I had it going the other way. And it's like,
yeah, that's always the best. Well,
if,
on my card. Oh,
well, if your card is the complete opposite of the card that settled it, maybe you don't fucking know anything. Ever think of that?
Yeah, maybe you were wrong.
Maybe you're a stupid fuck.
Maybe you're not a professional boxing judge.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
Not if your card's at home with fucking crayon.
Yeah. Well, on my card, I had that as a 10-9 round for the other guy. Well, clearly all 3 of the other judges had it the opposite way. So you don't know what you're saying. Yeah, but I go to boxing class 3 times a week. Cool, man.
I've been watching fights my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. Sick, man. Good for you. Yeah, well, it's like the guys that call the sports hub. They're like, yeah, I played quarterback in high school. So I just want to say that I watched Mac throw the ball and he looks good. All right. I'll hang up and listen. Like it's the same guy. It's the same fucking person. But yeah,
we know if Biden has to debate RFK, since
Biden wasn't debating.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Isn't
rules
that-
are. I think the DNC can
Didn't they
just
say he wasn't
decide.
debating?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the
Yeah,
DNC can just decide to not hold debates.
which that's kind of stupid too. If you have a challenger, you should.
Yeah, that's a fucking gutless move.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're not going to have him. No way. They're not going to trot him out there.
So it's kind of interesting what the fuck is going on right now. I would be interested to like in 4 months, right? Go back and listen to like one of these episodes that we just put out over the last month talking about politics, because there's some weird shit going on. So Biden just went to Maui, right, after the fires. And I've seen multiple videos on Twitter of people on the side of the road flipping off his motorcade as he drives by, saying, fuck you. Oh, look who showed up 13 days later. Where the fuck have you been? Fuck you. This fucking asshole. Like, there's a lot of people in Hawaii that really do not like Joe Biden. And traditionally, Hawaii is a very blue state. And it's multiple different islands with different, cultures and shit like that, whatever you want to say. But like in general, Hawaii has basically always voted blue, right? It's like Massachusetts. It's very, I can't, I mean, I don't follow politics, so this statement I'm about to make means nothing, but I can't remember the last time Hawaii went red. I mean, I don't, again, that means nothing, but it's a fun thing to say, right? It's just one of those, like, Hawaii always goes Democrat no matter what. And now they hate Biden, right? And he's giving these speeches in Hawaii, and one of them, he's giving a speech and he's like, yeah, I know what it feels like, to have loss. And he goes in this like big long tangent talking about how like his house was struck by lightning and his house caught on fire and he almost lost his wife and his 67 Corvette and his cat. And it's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, and I sat there and I watched the firefighters work and they saved my house and my Corvette. And I get it. And it's like, you don't get it. You don't get it. You need to be taken away and brought to a fucking old person home to live out the rest of your days in peace, because like it's almost getting to the point where like it's kind of not fair that like this poor old fuck with dementia has to be like trotted around the country and like given whatever drugs they need to give him to keep him awake and like give speeches, right? Like there was another video, he was at a banquet in Hawaii and he fell asleep at the table. It's literally a video of him and his head, his chin is down on his chest and his eyes are closed. He's asleep.
It's the time difference, dude.
Yeah, yeah, he's jet lagged. Yeah. But like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing? We're just gonna trot that guy out again. The same fucking guy.
Yep. They are.
It's unfucking real.
And guess what's probably gonna happen? Hawaii will probably still vote for him.
Yeah. Magically.
Because they're pissed now, but guess what? When it's between him and Trump, they ain't voting Trump. So
yeah, I mean that's ultimately how he won last time.
Yep.
Which I wonder if it's going to be. It shouldn't be the same. And I'm not going to support either candidate. But if we get another Biden Trump thing, I'm out. I'm not doing it again.
Talk about a massive waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand, but in a way I kind of do, right? So not to like get all conspiracy theory, but I think I've said this before on the podcast, right? If you are the DNC, if you're the puppet master behind the blue curtain, right? We talked about the puppet master behind the red curtain before. If you're the puppet master behind the blue curtain and you want control for your party, how do you not run RFK Jr.? For two reasons. One, because he could be in office for 8 years if Joe Biden wins, he'll only be in office for 4 more years, right? So yes, he was in for 4, so you'll get 8 from him, but you could get technically or theoretically, you could get a span of 12 years, right? Like you could get 4 from Biden and you could get 8 from RFK Jr., right? Like people are attracted to this guy. Like he's a sensible dude. People that tend to lean a little bit conservative actually like him, right? Like that's a telltale sign to me that like he's probably a good fucking candidate. But this is where the conspiracy part comes in, where it starts to really make me believe that this isn't about the individual. It's about control. So if the puppet master behind the blue curtain knows that he can't control RFK Jr., his 8 years in office doesn't mean anything, right? It's not important. Yeah, sure, RFK Jr. would win in a landslide against Trump, and then he would probably win again against whoever the GOP wants to nominate in 2028. But we can't control that guy. We can't sink our fucking teeth into him. So we don't want him. So it's like they only want the people in that they can control. That's me as a dumbass who's not a professional political commentator or anything, just looking at it using common sense, right? Because a little bit of common sense tells you that RFK Jr. is by and far away, like miles and miles, the best candidate that the Democratic Party could run right now. But he's not a team DNC guy. He doesn't fall in line. He asks too many questions. He's an independent thinker, right? So they care more about controlling everything than having a Democrat in the office, which it's kind of fucking terrifying.
I can also give you a name they're probably going to tap for 2020. Our governor here in Maryland, Wes Moore. He's young, veteran. Like they're already coming themselves over him. So I would look for him to be in the 2020, regardless of who's in office.
Right.
I can only see him as a one-term guy. He's like the DNC loves him.
Yeah. So it's weird, right? Like, isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? But like, am I alone, right? Like, does it make sense? Kind of what I'm getting at?
It makes sense. I just don't like it's all about control. They're not gonna run. They just want something mainstream. They want something that's like comfortable. They know what Biden is.
They want someone who's going to do what he's told, right? Or she, if they run and ever win with a woman candidate. But they want someone that's going to do what they're told, right? When they pick up the phone and they go, hey, Lockheed is threatening to stop funding us. So, we're going to start sending F-16s over to Ukraine. All right. Okay. No problem. Now we send F-16s over to Ukraine. So it's like, I don't know. Would it, if RFK Jr. were in office, would that fly? Probably not. No pun intended. We're talking about planes, but but like, if he were in office right now, would we be sending all this money to Ukraine? Probably not. Right. So like, I don't know. It's one of those things, right? If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking witch. So throw it in the river. Like it's all signs point to the quote unquote conspiracy, like may not actually be a conspiracy. And it doesn't take a fucking genius to kind of figure that out. It's weird.
It'll be interesting. Maybe he wants. So I'm wondering too, would they ever tap RFK to be the vice president? Because I've been seeing a few articles saying that Kamala is not on the greatest footing as a VP.
Well, yeah, she's even fucking worse than Biden. Biden has full-blown dementia and can't form sentences. telling people that just had a part of their island burned down that he almost lost his 67 Corvette in a fire once. And people hate her more. People hate her more than him. That's fucking incredible. That's impressive.
Yeah, I saw that she was trying to remake her image in light of 2024. So like, I wonder like what the jumping off point is. Like if they have a jumping off point, which they
Yeah.
probably don't, because that's that's not the,
Yeah, I
that
don't
would
know.
make sense if
I still don't think they would run RFK Jr. as a VP though, because he's not a company guy, right? Like that quote, that guy that's going to pick up the phone and do what he's told. Would you say?
the same as that Vivek guy. I mean, he's kind of a wild card too, because he hasn't been in the game yet.
Right, but the GOP is a
Or the
little bit
party.
different. I think the DNC is very much about controlling every little aspect. I think the GOP is more of a party of ideals right now, and like more of like I don't know how to say it, like theories, right? Like the conservatives are more along the lines of like, we just want someone that's going to protect the country, basically. Whereas the DNC is more like, we want someone that's going to pick up the fucking phone when we call them to tell them to do something. Right? Like, and again, I'm not a political commentator, but just to me, a regular old fucking dumbass, that's kind of how it seems to me, right? So because of that, right, I would lean more towards voting to whoever the GOP candidate is. So, I mean, it's probably going to be Trump, which is a fucking pain in the ass, which means I'm probably going to vote Libertarian again. If I vote at all, I may just not vote this time. But, am I going to vote for Joe Jorgensen again? I don't know. I want that guy that didn't know what Aleppo was. What was that guy's name? He called Donald Trump a pussy and said he would fight him. Gary Johnson. That was the one. Gary Johnson. Yeah, I remember that. It was like they were on the campaign trail in 2016, and they asked him about Trump, and he was like, "I've climbed the highest peak on all 7 continents. I've done this, I've done that, I've run a marathon, I've done whatever." He goes, "What has Donald Trump done? Nothing. He's a pussy." Like, and that clip was like going around wherever, and I was like, that's the fucking guy I'm voting for. And I did. And he didn't win.
Is Dr. Shiva running this cycle?
Oh
You guys know?
God, I remember. I saw those signs in Easton. They were calling for like a recount or some shit.
Amazing.
What, like get him on the ballot because Markey was gonna win going away or something like that.
Yeah, something. I vaguely remember that. But I don't know. You guys want to start wrapping this up? It's about that time.
We can wrap this up.
All right. Jones, you got a final thought?
I do. So I sent this to the group earlier, and I don't know. I didn't do enough research to see if it's regarding fantasy or just real life. But there are some fucking bums starting in the NFL this year. The tier list.
Oh yeah.
There are
Yeah.
some fucking bums. My God.
Well, I feel like there's always some sneaky, really shitty quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. So I'm just gonna go through the list real quick. So they have the S tier. Patrick Mahomes, so he's obviously like the god. Jalen Hurts and Burrow are the S tier. Which I mean, I would agree with. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, uh, Justin Fields, and Trevor Lawrence from the A field, and pretty much it's just a bag of suck until for the rest of the league. Actually, I think the B's are
Justin
Tua,
Herbert
Aaron
in
Rodgers,
there.
Justin Herbert. Sorry, sorry. Geno Smith's in the B tier, Kirk Cousins in the B tier, Stafford's in the B tier, Daniel Jones in the B tier, and everyone else is at C or below. Which I mean, that's the majority of the league. I feel like.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like for a while, if you're not if you weren't like a top 15 quarterback, right? Like there's really no like what is the difference between the 19th best quarterback and the 30th best quarterback? Like I feel like there's not a huge difference there. And the guys that aren't in the top 15 kind of fucking suck, right?
Yeah, and they have Mac Jones the D tier, which is fairly accurate, I think. Just because I
Yeah.
think his team's garbage.
Yeah, I mean after last year certainly.
Yeah.
So but
Yeah, there's a
is this from Barstool?
one of the guys worked for Barstool. Coley reposted it. He worked for Barstool.
Okay. Because the other thing too is
Or
like
the other.
they do shit for like entertainment purposes, right? So like they
It's not
put
like Big Cat when Big Cat
Yeah.
not only like fucks with the tiers, but also like puts crazy shit in there.
Yeah.
yeah, so like they have Deshaun Watson at the very bottom that says super hell. And it's like, okay, I understand what you're doing there, but at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson has very well the potential to be a top 10 quarterback this year. This year. Right? Like I don't think it's out of the question, right? Like if I don't know. So like I
He
said,
better. I'll tell you right now, he better fucking show something
yeah,
because he didn't show a fucking thing last year.
yeah, I know. So it's like that's what I mean. Like sometimes it can be a little bit goofy, right? But I mean,
Like I would think that Russell Wilson will probably have a better year than last year, right? He got
he
to.
should. He should, right? He actually has a real coach. Um they improved the offensive line a little bit for him. So, I saw a really interesting article, I think it was, or something. I read something somewhere that talked about Russell Wilson and Dats, you'll get this because it was either actually now that I think of it, it was either you or it was Nikos that talks about like the Russell Wilson offense, right? You just run in circles and then chuck the ball down the field.
Nikos. That
That's
was
Nikos.
Nikos'
Yeah.
thing.
So his entire career, that's what Russell Wilson does. He runs in circles and then he chucks the ball down the field. But now he's older and he can't run around in circles and run away from people anymore to chuck the ball down the field. So he actually has to figure out how to be a real quarterback. Because I saw there were like statistics about Russell Wilson's passer rating, like in the pocket versus out of the pocket. And out of the pocket for most of his career is like outrageously high, and in the pocket is like surprisingly low. And it's like that was last year. He had to be more of a pocket quarterback last year and he couldn't figure it out. So I think this year is going to be the the rubber stamp on Russell Wilson. If he can figure it out and put it together, he'll be fine. But if he can't figure it out after this season, he's done. Right. I think this is it. I think last year was okay, you're starting to get a little bit old. It was the same thing Cam Newton went through, right? Like Cam Newton was an MVP of the league. And by the time he was on the Patriots, like it looked like me playing quarterback out there. Like it was like fucking, I don't know, it was right-handed Tim Tebow. Wait, was Cam Newton left-handed?
No, he's just black.
Oh, okay. Okay. Not like Donovan McNabb, though. He was left-handed.
Nope. Randall Cunningham.
um, but yeah, so I think this year is when we figure out what Russell Wilson really is, and if he can't cut it this year, he's done. I don't even think he's in the league next year. Like, unless a team wants to take a chance on him as a backup. But if he can't cut it this year, he might be completely done.
And I think they owe him a lot of.
Yes, they do. So
Hate to see it.
But yeah, I mean, those rankings are cool, and so you got to take some of them with a grain of salt, right? Because, like I said, the Deshaun Watson at the very bottom of the pyramid in super hell, it's like, okay, like I said, he could very well be a top 10 quarterback this year. He is fucking talented. He's only 28 years old.
I feel like he's been in the league so much longer for only being 28.
I know. When he get drafted when he was like 21. Might have been, right? If this is his 7th or 8th year in the league.
It's more than that. Wait, how old is he?
He's only like 28 or 29.
He can't be. He cannot be. He was drafted in 2012. He's got to be 32.
No, he was born in 1995. He's 27 years old. He'll be 28 in like 3 weeks.
Russell Wilson?
No,
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
No shit, huh?
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
he was
Russell
drafted
Wilson
in 17.
is like, yeah, Russell Wilson's like 32, 33.
Yeah. Thought you said Wilson, not Watson. I'm like, am I fucking missing something here?
No.
Yes,
I said Deshaun Watson could be a top 10 quarterback this year, despite whoever did that ranking putting him dead last on the list. So, you got a final thought? Or sorry, do you have more to that final thought before we go to Bob?
No, that's it.
All right. Scratch Man.
So, played yesterday with someone that lives in Charlestown, and he said, again, I don't know how this route works. He goes, I was going to get gas driving through Somerville. Again, don't know how that one works, but whatever. And he's like, yeah, I actually got pulled over before I even like got on the way. He goes, I don't know what the road was, but I think I think a median does run through it. So someone was crossing or almost ready to cross on the other side from where he was coming, and there's a median, whatever. So the person's like way the hell over there. He doesn't stop. He goes through, gets like through the intersection, and a guy on a motorcycle, cop on a motorcycle, points him over to the side, and he's like, officer's like, did you see that pedestrian in the crosswalk? And he's like, I did, but they were kind of like on the other side. I didn't know if they were going to cross. I didn't know if they were going. And he's like, oh, well, the law is if the pedestrian even starts, you stop to let them through because we don't want them waiting in the median, being kind of like in the middle of traffic, whatever. Like license registration, the whole thing. Kid looks back, or the dude I play with looks behind him. It's a fucking Sting. It's an undercover cop that keeps kind of like inching into the road when cars are coming, and there's 3 officers just pulling people over.
No way.
For not stopping for the fucking crosswalk.
Talk about petty.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that is by far. So that's 4 officers in this like pedestrian sting operation. 3 doing the pulling over, 1 person going like doing like the whatever. Maybe it's not an officer, maybe it's, I don't know, paid actor. I don't fucking know how that works. Chris, let us know. But it's 4 people just doing this sting operation. And I'm like, that's probably the most Somerville thing you could have fucking told me. Like, that sounds like something that would be happening in Somerville.
Yeah,
as if you guys got nothing fucking better to do.
I know. That's almost like a Cambridge or a Brookline move, though, too.
It's the
Like I
same
could see
thing. Like
Brookline.
they're all turning into the same fucking place.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Brookline had
Cambridge,
it first.
Somerville, Brookline. Brookline did it first.
Yeah.
Probably did it best too, because God, is that place insufferable?
Yeah, that is pretty fucking awful. That's pretty.
So yeah,
Hilarious.
he didn't end up getting a ticket. He ended up getting like the warning for it, but
Right.
he's like, yeah, he goes, I'm sitting there. He goes, I'm sitting there while the cops like running the info. He goes, and I see it happen 2 more times. I'm like, it's a fucking sting.
That's wild.
We get overtime for that too. Just disgusting.
Well, that's what I mean is like, again, if it's whether it's 3 or 4 officers, again, I don't know if you would use a paid actor or whatever the fuck. Fucking guy is like, hey, you want to get out of your cell for a minute? Go walk across the street. Don't get hit. Yeah, I mean, it's like, for what? To give out warnings for not stopping for pedestrians? Because the other thing is you're not even ticketing these people.
Right. Yeah. What's the point if you're not going to actually write an actual ticket?
Well, I mean, I understand the theory. The theory behind it is next time he sees someone kind of like start to make their way, he'll stop in the fucking crosswalk. And then what'll happen is someone will come up behind him, fucking slam on their brakes and fucking rip on their horn.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would never fly in Boston though. Like people like walk in front of cars all the fucking time. What are we doing?
Yeah. See, that's my other thing. Like, again, this happens. I mean, it happens in Somerville, fine. Like, it happens around here too, but like the crosswalk thing, like getting the crosswalk, fine, but like the other thing too is like head on a fucking swivel. Like sometimes these people can't see you or whatever.
Right. Or especially now, they're fucking texting, not paying attention.
Yeah.
Like I see it all the time on the highway, right? Because I do a lot of highway driving, and I'll be driving in my lane, and then I see a car up in front of me, and it's like starting to drift a little bit, and it drifts.
Yeah, I just figure they're all shit.
And then it like
when
comes
that
back.
happens.
Well, I mean, this is like 7:30 in the morning when I'm on my way to work.
Tail end.
Yeah,
On the tail end.
That's fair. And then it's like goes the other way into the other lane a little bit, and then it comes back. And then by the time like I catch up to them and look, I look over and the person's like this on the fucking steering wheel. And I'm like, oh, well, no shit. Like you're doing 75 miles an hour and you're literally not watching where you're going. Not that like I've never texted and drove before. Obviously I have. But like if I'm on the highway, it's going to be a quick like, okay, sounds good. Like I'm not going to sit there and write a fucking thesis on like how I'm feeling that day when I'm doing fucking 75 miles an hour in the middle of the highway. Right? Like I feel like that's just common sense.
Common sense is not so common.
Yeah, exactly. But all right. So my final thought is I'm going to try and abbreviate it, but I think it is interesting. I'm not going to go into like the whole story, obviously, because we've gone like an hour and a half at this point. But West Virginia University. I almost called it the University of West Virginia. It's not it. It's West Virginia University. Go Mountaineers. They have decided to cut 32 majors out of the college, right? So some people are like, wow, that kind of sounds like a lot. Yeah, it does, right? Like 32 majors, like that sounds like a lot of majors to get rid of at a college. But you want to know how many majors WVU has that they offer?
It's got to be 50, right?
What'd you say?
150?
338.
Jesus.
So they are too many majors.
Yeah. So they're cutting less than 10% of their classes. It's like 9 and change percent, right? 32 out of 338. So they're getting rid of 32 of them, and they're firing 70% of their staff. Why, you might ask? Well, they're encountering some budgetary issues right now. So they hired a new dean, I think, or president, right? Who's the person? Yeah, the president. Dr. Elwood Gordon Gee, which is a fucking loser name. I also see a picture of him and he's wearing like a blue and yellow bow tie. So definitely a loser. Yeah, definitely a loser. But he's the type of guy that, like, when businesses need to like hire a new CEO to like go through some sort of transition in their company, whether they're like about to merge with another company or they're about to like break off all their assets and like sell them off, like this is the guy to bring in, because his resume is for Dr. Elwood Gordon Gee. He previously served as the president at Ohio State, Vanderbilt, Brown, and Colorado. All colleges that he's been at, he's provided budget cuts and cut departments and done all this stuff. So this guy's the fucking slasher. Like, you bring this guy in as the president of your college to just start making fucking cuts because shit's not working. So apparently this guy loves it. But yeah, so West Virginia University got rid of 32 of its 338 majors. It proposed cutting the entire world language department. A master's degree in creative writing and a doctoral degree in mathematics. So, I mean, I don't hate that, right? Like, who the fuck needs a doctorate degree in mathematics, right? Also, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know when this happened, right? Because we grew up in it, right? And part of it, and, you know, part of the college machine. But I'd be really interested to know when colleges went from their like specifically known for things to like general, we offer 338 majors, right? Like, because so all three of us, obviously, we all went to Bridgewater State University. And for the longest time, Bridgewater State University was known as the teacher college, right? Like, you went to Bridgewater if you wanted to be a teacher, because it had one of the best education programs in the state. So that's where you went. Then there was like a little pocket of time that was like mostly before we got there, but a little bit while we were there, and certainly not anymore, where the exercise science department was renowned for being very good, which obviously Dats, you and I majored in, like big dum-dums. But then now, like, I'd be curious to see how many degrees or how many whatever majors, that's the word, that they offer, right? Like, when did colleges go from offering like 75 majors to like 350, right? Because obviously that's a cash grab, right? Like, if you have a school that offers like 75 to maybe 100 majors, and like, you know, most of them are pretty solid, then you have a school that's like, oh, well, you know what? If we offer this, what is this called? Oh, creative writing. Yeah, if we just create this major, we'll get more people to come here and then we'll make more money, right? So like, I am all for cutting through this fucking college bullshit and getting rid of these stupid ass majors. Not altogether, right? Like, which is fine. Creative writing, it's fucking retarded, right? It's more retarded than exercise science. But does every single fucking college in the country need to offer a creative writing major? No, the answer is no.
No, they have to.
Yeah, they must. Equality.
Every single one has to.
Yeah. But it's like, maybe you have like a couple here and there, right? Like, you just have the college that's known for creative writing. Maybe, right? Like, maybe Maryland is the creative writing college, right? Like, why can't we just go back to the way that things were for like through like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s?
Nope.
So I'm just looking up their website right now. They're doubling up on shit. So when we were in school, if you want to be like an editor or whatever, you majored in communications, right?
Right.
So
journalism.
now, yeah, right. So now it's professional writing and editing on top of a different communication major. They're just double up and triple up. Shit.
Yeah,
All these can be combined in
yeah,
concentration.
they're breaking it off to get more money from people, right? They're like, oh, well, you could come major in journalistic research and studies with a concentration in editorial design or some bullshit like that. And it's like, or you could just go to school for fucking communications, right? Maybe that. Maybe you can major in communications with a minor in journalism. Like, why do you
They have
need
a major.
this fucking retard, all these stupid things that all mean the same thing?
You'll like this. They have a major esports business and entertainment.
See,
The emphasis.
see these all sound like concentrations to me. They don't sound like majors.
No, this is from their major's website.
They're oddly specific.
Yeah.
They're all majors with like different like concentrations and stuff, like areas of emphasis and all this crap.
So if those are the majors, what are the fucking concentrations? Holy shit.
Yeah. So the communication studies is areas of emphasis: health communication, integrated communication, interpersonal communication, social media communication, technology, or strategic and organizational.
So you have
There's too fucking much.
17 majors that mean the
There's too
same
much.
thing, and then there's 8 concentrations within those 17 majors. You know what I mean? Like all the different permutations that you can make. Why? Right? Like I said, major in communications with a minor in journalism. There you go. Be on your way. Right now you can go be a journalist or an editor or whatever the fuck you want to do. Right? Like it's just makes no sense to me. Like I said, I'm all for this if this is going to happen, because where I was reading it, which was from the Roca News app, shout out to those guys. They're talking about colleges all across the country have income problems, right? Like their money coming in.
How the fuck do these colleges have income problems?
Because
that
enrollment
cannot be fucking right.
Enrollment is down across the country because after COVID, people either didn't go back to college or they decided they weren't going to go to college. So like we're in the very, very beginning stages of the shift where people are potentially going to shift back into the trades, right? Very like super early. Like we're probably at least 10 years away from like, you know, seeing college numbers where they were in, you know, the mid 2000s, right? Or early 2000s. Because we were in that, you know, the late 2000s to the 2010s, where it was when we were in school, it was if you don't go to college, you're a loser, basically was what we were told, right? So if you go back to like the 90s, I think it probably started in the late 90s and early 2000s, was that, oh, if you don't go to college, what are you going to do with your life? You're going to be a fucking loser. So I think we're probably like maybe 10 years away from swinging it back the other way. But I like this because everyone knows how I feel about the education system and how fucked up it is and how I think it's stupid and needs massive reform. So if colleges have less people going and they have less money coming in, this is on average too, right? This isn't like every college across the country. It's not uniform, but it's becoming a bigger problem for colleges on average that their enrollment is down. Good. I say good. Fix your fucking shit, right? You don't need to offer a major in gender studies with a minor in why men are misogynist with a concentration in fucking fallopian tubes, right? Like to go out and not get a job or get a job making like 35 grand a year and you're $70,000 in debt, right? Like, you don't need that major. There's no ROI. And we're starting to get into that like free market like correction right now, because we've just spent the last 2 decades essentially sending people to college to learn things that they're not making enough money to pay off their college for. So people are like, well, why did I go to college at all? So now, like I said, it's starting the wheel of change, which I think we're probably, like I said, at least another decade, if not 2 decades away from going back to the, why don't you learn a fucking skill? Or if you're going to go to college, major in something that's fucking useful, right? So, yeah, that's it. And that's all I got to say about that. So thank you all for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, hit that button up top. Tell everybody you know about the show. If you're an audio only guy, you can still subscribe wherever you're listening. And you can leave 5 stars and a review on Apple and Spotify. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is Sarcasm_speaks. The Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. The website is sarcasmspeaks.com. You go to the merch store, buy some merch. You can get one of those really cool coasters that Jones is holding up right there. And then you can go buy some shit from our sponsors, like mybookie.com. Although you're not really buying anything from them, doesn't matter. Give them money, they give us money. That's how this works. You can use the promo code SarcasmPod to double your first deposit up to $1,000 at mybookie.com. And then if you can't sleep because you're stressed out from all your bets, you can go to noonbrew.com and use our promo code over there. Again, it's in the show notes. And you'll get $10 off. 10% off every single time you check out at noonbrew.com. The next link code, what have you, is for $10 off. And that's at the Pod Company, the Ice Pod. Yeah, their website is thepodcompany.co. It's the Ice Pod. So you can get a ice bath, a portable ice bath that I use pretty frequently, that I purchased myself. You can use our promo code there and you'll get $10 off, $10 off. Geez, I got to get the dollars and the percents right. Maybe I could use a PhD in mathematics. Probably not, but so I think that is it. So that's going to do it for us. Until next time, good night, everyone.